How tall did you think you were?
5'11". 2 games into my senior year was when I got my first letter from Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Is that a black dad thing? My little brother had an offer
black
from West
dad
Point.
thing. That's a
crazy.
T-shirt.
My little brother had an offer. I'm not playing that. I'm from the old school. My dad coached me.
Yeah.
My whole life.
Okay, got you. Got you.
I'm not giving it to nobody easy. Nah, you gotta earn that. Tell you on a Thursday or Tuesday, I'm gonna have 3 picks in the game. I'm gonna score. All the teachers was like, "This kid don't shut up." And guess what I did in the game though?
Oh, so you be in class?
Oh yeah. And guess what I did in the game though? I had 3 picks and I'm gonna score.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't just talking. It sounded like it, but like I was gonna do it.
Yeah. You want a TV time?
I take as much as I can get. Find that picture on Google.
New venture you have coming.
The new venture we have coming is called GSE Athletics, Grind Shady Athletics, 8,000 square foot training facility.
Where's the location?
Off the 91 on Auto Center Drive in Corona.
Welcome to Drinking Water Podcast, where we share our journeys to inspire others. Our guest today is Josh Mitchel. We got Mr. Tommy Dorsey, Through the Pain, and Khalil Dorsey of Through the Pain. Josh, man, I like to say to you, like I tell them, give you your flowers, because I've seen you work. I've actually been going through your social media. I've been doing a deep dive. And then I did some research on you, man. I just like to commend you. Commend you for being a son, a sibling, a father, a husband, college graduate, entrepreneur, dog trainer.
Thank you.
All those titles, man. And then now I found out you're doing some other business ventures. But what I want to start with, when you first started, let's go back to your recruiting from Nebraska. This dude is laughing at me.
Go ahead. I'm laughing at you. It's just nice.
It is nice.
Go, man.
Okay. So let's start with your recruitment. We're going to go back that far to high school. How was that? Like, what did you have to go through? I guess what I need to say is, when did you find out that in yourself that you're going to go to the next level, that's what you wanted to do?
Okay, so for me personally, playing football, my dad didn't want us to play football growing up. So I didn't start playing football until 10 or 11.
Oh.
But like my friends were playing 6, 7, 8, right? So for me, when I was a freshman in high school, I was 13 years old. And Roosevelt was a brand new school. We had freshmen through juniors. We didn't even have seniors. And just like that first day of practice, I knew like, all right.
Oh, you knew?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
The first day?
I'm like that.
Oh, you were there when they go, hey, I woke up this way?
I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like I can say that now. At the time, I couldn't say that because nobody was really trying to hear me.
Yeah.
I was a little dude. I was probably like 5'7", 110 pounds my freshman year.
Yeah.
You know, like I was a little dude.
Damn.
Yeah, I left high school like 140.
Well, how tall were you when you left high school?
5'8", 5'9",
Ooh.
140.
That sounds familiar.
That sounds familiar. But
At a DB?
How tall did you think you were?
5'11". I thought I was like 5'11", 185. But for me, as far as like recruiting goes,
yeah,
because we weren't getting recruited the first, second year. We had Austin Hill, Harold Mobley, Tyler Slavin were our big receivers in high school. So like they were getting recruited probably the beginning of like our junior seasons, and I wasn't getting any love like that. So you know that little bit of like doubt starts to creep into your mind. But that summer going into my senior year is when I finally actually started going to camps. So I went like to a UCLA camp, and we had 2 of the top corners in the state, well actually in the whole country at that camp, and I feel like I held my own like everybody else. Yeah. I didn't get any love from UCLA after the camp, but just like after the camp, I was like, no, I know what I did.
Yeah,
y'all not gonna like my body, but I know what I did. Yeah. So probably 2 games into my senior year was when I got my first letter from Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Before that, I had an offer from Colorado State. My older brother was already at Colorado State, so I had been talking to them for my junior year. But even then, I was kind of like, well, my brother's there, so.
Yeah.
And I'm better than my brother, so they're probably going to just offer me.
Just right off the bat, you better than your brother?
my brothers would tell you, like, when it comes to football, like, I'm the football one.
Gotcha.
My younger brother, he got the track. I'll give my younger brother the track.
Yeah.
Business, I'll give my older brother that. Like, when it comes to making money, I'll give that to my older brother all day.
Okay.
Football, me.
You.
Yeah. So when Nebraska first started recruiting me, they were recruiting our other big 3 receivers too.
Okay.
So they were kind of like trying to get us in a package deal type of thing. And when I went on that recruiting trip out there, that's when I first like realized like what I began myself into with college.
Okay.
The other schools I was that were interested in me, not Tulsa, UTEP, Colorado State. I didn't get any offers from like anybody in the Mountain West like that outside of Colorado State. Gotcha. I thought some schools would, like San Diego State. They didn't pull off the trigger. I don't know. Recruiting was weird for me. I didn't get recruited highly like that, but I got an offer from Nebraska, and we were top 15 at the time.
Wow.
So it was weird. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I can't say that I felt like, oh, yeah, I'm Pac-12, I'm Big 12.
So were they keeping contact with you? Because I think that was a big thing with you, keeping contact.
What do you mean?
When NAU, the reason why they kept contact with you a lot.
Yeah, that and that was like one of the only places I got accepted in.
Mm-hmm.
The SAT scores.
You know
what
what I wanted though.
Yeah, okay, so I got a
offer
from West Point, and he wanted me to go there.
Wait, then the other one came.
Is that a black dad thing? My little brother had an offer from West Point.
Thing. That's a
crazy.
T-shirt.
My little brother had an offer from West Point. My dad was excited
Because
I was like,
when you get out,
you're set.
pretty much set.
You wear that ring, you're set.
I feel you.
You're set for life.
I feel you.
So I mean, that's what he was looking at.
Yeah.
I was looking at. Dang, I gotta shave my
Wait.
head.
Then it's that's all he kept saying is his hair.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked.
So he watched this video, and it shows the first day when you get off the bus. They're screaming at you. They're yelling at you. They get you in line.
I wouldn't have made
They put you in this room, and everybody's getting their hair shaved. I'm like, as long as we don't let them see that, we good. You know, and then even
Show me the video.
I did, didn't I? And then,
video.
but the recruiter came in and said, no, talk to us on the phone. Mr. Dorsey, if you could just get him here, we got him. Mm-hmm. We got him because they said the facility's beautiful.
My little brother had a good time on his trip.
Yeah.
He said it was like, he went up to West Point. He said it was nice.
Yeah, that's what they were
He
saying.
did say that.
That's what
Everybody just got to get through that first experience. That's it. The first off the bus experience.
For sure.
But that's the hardest part probably.
Nothing's like your recruiting trip though. Yeah. Like when I went to Nebraska, I had a good time. I committed on my trip.
Partying?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
How was your trip?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. That's when what's it called?
Who's your host?
I think it was Cole Stearns or Wes. I think it was Cole.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, we got some food, got some grub. Then we went back to the crib and chilled, and then we went out, and yeah, we had a good time. I think I probably was
You went
tired.
during season?
I was tired. Huh?
You went during football season?
I think it was after season, right? I want to say.
I think it was after.
Yeah, it was either before season or after season. That's when I went. Because I just had to make sure, like, you know, my schedule's all good. I didn't miss anything.
I only took trips during like the football season.
Oh, for real?
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So when I went to Colorado State, they had a game.
Okay.
When I went to Nebraska, it was Nebraska against Oklahoma, 2009, and I want to say Oklahoma was top 5, Nebraska was top 10. And then,
That was when they were good.
and then like we beat them by like 3 points.
Nice.
Oh, that was fun.
Well, Sue was out there, Sam Bradford was out there. I was like, I'm going here.
That was as soon as you signed that day and you were gone.
Next day,
Wow.
next
Wow.
morning, I was like, yeah, I'm going to Nebraska.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. Your first time in that locker room as a football player.
Like when I got there as a
Like
freshman,
when you got there as a freshman, your
I wanted
first.
to go home.
Did you?
As soon as I got there, I was like, they trapped me.
Really?
They tricked me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was a Cali kid in the middle of the country. I had Sprint. I had no service on my phone at the dorm. I had to put my phone in the window like this to get service. I was with like my wife now. We were together at that time. I'm trying to talk to my lady in the window. It's like we were in this old dorm. I got there late.
Sound familiar?
Midwestern, I did that. I was Cornell College in Iowa. I did that.
Don't nobody prepare you for the Midwest.
No.
They don't tell you. You go on your trip. You don't see anything.
Yeah.
It's short. You get off the plane and you realize, I'm going to be here. It was hot.
You went when it was at. I got like the, what do you call it? Like the spring, the nice
I got
weather.
there in June. So like we graduated. So everybody else had graduated probably 2 weeks before California did. So they got there.
Yeah.
So I got there a couple weeks after everybody else, and they're already in the dorms. They already know each other. I'm just first day. I'm going straight to workout the next day. Like the next morning, I'm at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm in for. Like they've been there, at least they got prepped. I came in day one and we running. I catch a full body cramp. They grab my body and just throw me in the cold tub like a fish. I'm trying to keep my mouth above the water tight. It's like, oh yeah.
I had I think my first time experiencing that was more. What was it like? I got the humid heat. That was the first time I experienced like humidity, and I was like,
Horrible.
yeah. I just felt like gross all the time. Even after I showered, I was
You can't stand in the shade and get comfort.
no.
Like in California, you can stand in the shade and be all right.
And I tell people that I'm like the Midwest and the humidity and the cold.
And then,
it's just
but then
different.
It'll be a random storm. Yeah. It'll be hot. And then it'll
In the
be
middle
a
of nowhere.
storm.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened?
And it won't even last that long.
What is it? The monsoons, right? Yeah, they had that. They have a bunch of those in Arizona.
You hear those
Like that.
tornado sirens going off. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, they just testing every month. I'm like, come on.
I know in Memphis it's like that. It gets bad.
It's
And
different.
but it's a trip because when I was younger, it would just pour. And then it would stop. Then all these frogs would be everywhere.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was like in a movie, you just started seeing frogs everywhere. But that was normal for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was normal. So your first time in that locker room.
First time
Like when you compare, because I've always had this question with them, and we just never like delve into it. It's like your 1st, meaning like what was your thought coming into this locker room?
So in Nebraska, the way they do it is we have a freshman locker room where like it's the freshman in the walk-on locker room, and then we have the main locker room.
Okay.
So when you're a freshman, everybody goes on up there to the freshman walk-on locker room. So you're kind of just with the people that you're.
Oh, this is wow.
As we have us in Nebraska has the like we pride ourselves in our walk-on tradition.
Okay.
So we have a lot of kids on the team. You can't fit everybody in one locker room.
Oh, yeah.
So it's no
gotcha.
disrespect to like being a freshman or in the walk-on locker room. Like the walk-on locker room is tradition.
Gotcha.
A lot of kids' parents played or like their dads played in the program, or like their parents went to the school. So they're like, I'm in the same locker room my dad was in.
Wow. Okay.
So learning tradition, like going in the locker room for the first time, was just like, this place is full of tradition. I went to a brand new high school.
Yeah.
We didn't have tradition.
Yeah, you
Like,
were the tradition.
I came from a whole different mindset of just being like, everybody at the school know me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
we put on, and then
Yeah.
you go to here, and it's like you're what? You're nobody. You walking down the halls, and it's like black and white pictures, and you like, I know that name.
Yeah.
I ain't know you went here.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and it's like it's some
It's tradition.
So the first time just being in that locker room, I was like, hey, can you live up to it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that's a lot. It's heavy now. That's heavy. Like my buddies went to Arizona. No disrespect to those other schools, but like they don't have tradition like
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Oh man, Nebraska has
It's
tradition.
different. Like, I know we haven't been good recently, so it's like hard to even talk about Nebraska because people just give me jokes all the time. But I'm like, y'all don't know.
Yeah.
You guys got no idea.
Nebraska was tops back
Tommy
in the day.
Frazier.
Yeah.
Tommy Frazier. Quarterback.
Nebraska has 5 or 6 national championships.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting too. Like the first time I got interested in college football was when I was watching, I think it was Nebraska was playing somebody, but like someone gets tackled out of bounds and he's rolling out of bounds and he stands up and he does this to the crowd. The crowd's going crazy. I was like, man, that's like what I want to play.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, your student section was pretty like live. Like the fans out there, huh?
You know what's crazy about Nebraska is fans die hard. We have the longest sellout streak in college football. There's going to be an asterisk on that because the last couple of years, like I said, we haven't been good. So donors have been buying the tickets.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, and giving them to kids so they can fill up the stadium
Yeah.
and the streak can stay alive.
It's good donors.
But like when I was there, the spring game, like our stadium holds almost 100,000. It's sold out for the spring game.
Ooh.
So like your spring game is jumping.
That's for practice.
Spring game jumping.
That's fun.
Spring game jumping. Like the fans, they coming to everything. They want to know who the quarterback's going to be the next year, who the running back's going to be.
They're recruiting just as much as the coaches.
Who's our black shirt defense? Like
Wow.
it's jumping. So game days, you know, it's crazy because our stadium's loud. It's a lot of old people in our stadium. the season ticket holders are older. They're older folks.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like it's funny because we used to make jokes and it sounds terrible, but the very first like 3-4 games of the season, like especially the first 2 home games, it's hot. By the third quarter, if you turn around and you look up into the stadium, you see people coming down on stretchers. Like, it's all people in there, bro. It's a packed stadium. I was like, it's hot. Dang. It's hot.
Yeah, officially hard. That's not hard. That's not hard.
Yeah, that is
Yeah. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. So your first game coming out of that tunnel, looking at all that.
I say, and I redshirted too, so you get to dress out for the home game.
Oh, so you got to see
So
it.
that first time running through the tunnel, knowing I'm not even going to play, it's still like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And then during warm-ups, when they announce who's going to start for the game, and it's on the big screen, like you feel it on you, like you feel like I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I'm up there. You know what I'm saying? Like my name is so and so, and then you tell what city you're from, what high school you went to, and then the crowd's going crazy, and it's like each player gets a bigger cheer, right?
Yeah.
So like the quarterback, of course, gets the craziest cheer. Like the star player on defense, like we had Levante David. Like Levante David, stadium going crazy, you know? Yeah. So I just remember just being like, I can't wait.
That dude's tough.
How did you your first time hitting that field?
What NAU or
NAU?
You know, it's cool. It's not like that though.
No, but when you guys played Arizona, that was huge.
Yeah, but we didn't get the cheers, right? So like we heard the crowd. And it was cool. Like I was like, oh, this is pretty lit. Like this stadium's packed. ASU that year, I feel like it was packed. In my eyes, when we came out the tunnel, they didn't say a word or they booed us or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Coming out the tunnel, oh, this is pretty cool.
Y'all play some big schools, not like
we played Arizona and U of A like every year first game. Would be like Arizona or U of A.
That's cool.
And I think that was like our only. Would you say that was like our only big
UTEP was another one, but it wasn't that big.
It was this big.
What was your feeling when you went in?
When I went in,
when you went out through that tunnel?
Because man, it's the same thing. It was a small school, so it was the same thing. I mean, you kind of get that whole like, oh, let's go, but
so you know that it's like that feeling of like, all right, say I'm driving my car, you're driving your car, and I'm like, hey, you want my car? You're like, no, that's your car. It's like when we go to another school, it's like, oh, it's that's their crowd. Our crowd was cool when we was winning, I think, sophomore year or junior year?
His sophomore year. The first year I got there. That was the livest because the other 2 years, were kind of like our coach was headed out the door.
Yeah.
So he was more like focused on himself. I don't know how to explain that.
That year he was getting fired. He already knew that he was going to get like fired at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then we had a winning record and went to playoffs, and they hired him back again. It was cool.
One more year.
He was a cool dude.
And it was just everybody was ready for him to leave, and you kind of saw it, like some of the seniors. Like
that's how my senior year was. Like we knew we were gonna fire our coach.
But this dude had
who was your coach?
Bo Pelini.
Who?
But Google that man. Google that man. He got a highlight tape cussing people out on the sideline.
Does he?
That's my dog.
That's a legit coach.
How many? So I know with him, and I know with him, they had position coach, always changing.
That was me.
Always like every year, 4.
I have
every year.
I have 4 DB coaches.
Oh, really?
Only one of them was there 2 years.
How was that?
It was challenging because the guy that recruited me was gone after I redshirted.
Yeah.
And the next guy came in, and I know he was looking at me like, who recruited this dude? I'm little.
Yeah.
I know how people look at me. Like I walk in the locker room, I walk on the field like.
Wait, I want to expand. Okay, so that little part. So so when you came in, because I know for him they weighed him.
Oh yeah.
They did the height.
Yeah.
So. You remember that day?
Which part are you talking about?
With the trip when we went, the recruiting trip, and you signed.
Yeah.
So they weighed him. They did his height, and then he was
nervous.
He was mad.
Yeah.
He said, "Nah, I'm 5'9", I'm 5'10", whatever you said." And they said, "No, look." And
I said 5'7". I said, "Ain't no way, I'm 5'9". He said, "Nah, it says 5'7".
You should have saw his face.
What you weighing at?
I said, "Damn."
He weighed 60 something.
Yeah, I was track. It was track at the time.
That's cool. I
he
mean,
was
I was weighing that my senior year of college.
Were you?
I didn't play heavier than 165. I told you, I didn't play heavier than 165 in college. No. Look how small I am.
Yeah.
That's Randy Gregory behind me.
Look like
That's our other corner 14.
Dang.
I'm mad because now I watch college football and they got stuff. They got gear for small dudes.
Oh, did
They
they?
had no
They
gear
had
for
no
us.
gear.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like the pants fit. My pants didn't fit. I had to like tuck my pants and they were still loose
roll
on the
5
side.
times up.
This dude's out there. I'm like, he's skinny like I was, but his stuff fit.
It fits.
I had like a medium pant. I'm like, I need an extra small pant.
Yeah,
My stuff tight.
I did that. You large.
Yeah, that's what
Went
I
crazy. I
needed.
used that in high school. It went crazy.
My swag turned down because like all in here in my pants is loose. You feel me? That's why. Come on, that's why. My pants are too big. There's no, you can only tuck your pants so much before it's loose. I'm not big. I wanted my stuff tailored.
Because I know with you got good stuff. No?
We talking about NAU?
Yeah.
Freshman year? It was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. The pants you would have to roll up. I understand that. But I fit right here. Like, I was cool. I waited a little bit more because remember that freshman 15, I put on about like 10.
Oh, did you?
Remember? Because we got in trouble one day. Oh my gosh. This is when I felt everything I ate. We got in trouble one day for trying to come out in, what was it? We was trying to come out as a collective unit. Like all the DBs sat together. So as a collective unit, we're like, all right, we're not gonna do this full pass. This is back when we had 2-a-days. We're not gonna do full pass. We gonna go up there. We're gonna go out there in shells. That's what we're gonna do. We decided
We rebelled like that too once.
And
wait, you did it without your coaches knowing?
Yeah. So like we all planned that out. We all planned that out, and then our QB snitched on us.
Cookies?
Yes. Snitched on us, right? And then our DB coach came in and said, "What are y'all doing?" It was Coach
Brown?
Yeah, Chappelle.
Okay.
He was calm, but he was heated. He was like, "Put y'all pants on and meet us out there, and y'all better not be late." That's what he said. So we put our pants on, we go outside. We went through the practice. Like you had to warm up and stuff.
Yep.
You had the special teams at the beginning, and then we went to Indy, running the whole time, and it was a double period. Yeah. It was just like it was straight running. And
what would you have done?
And what?
What would you have done in that situation if you were him?
If you were the coach? Yeah. That's a good question.
I'm a coach now, so like I think about some of the stuff we were doing. I look at these dudes now. I'm like, y'all better not try me. I'm not the one. So I get it. With
Isn't it different though nowadays? Can't they get away with a lot more? Can't they challenge you a lot more?
They think they can.
Try.
I mean,
they do.
Oh, y'all both coaches.
It doesn't work for me. I end up in the AD's office. I'm in the AD's office a couple times a year. I already know. Okay. Like if this was the NFL, I'll pay my fine money early because I know I'm gonna get. I'm not playing that. I'm from the old school. My dad coached me. Yeah. My whole life.
Okay, gotcha.
So.
Gotcha.
I'm not giving it to nobody easy. Nah, you gotta earn that.
You take this like you on the field.
You gotta earn that. Everybody thinks they're like that. All these little dudes, they think they're like that. And I'm like, you're good.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't know if kids nowadays realize, and this is what I try to tell dads, is that if you're gonna play at the next level, it's all day. Mm-hmm. Like I tell my friends, no, they wake up at 6. Mm-hmm. They got a meeting. Sometimes 5:30. They got a meeting, and then this dude had 2 practices.
Your mind better be right.
Yeah, all day. You go to class somewhere in there, and then all of a sudden you don't get back till 7.
You got study hall when you're a freshman.
Yeah,
mandatory.
Horrible.
Yeah,
man, you better not miss that study hall by a minute.
By the way, academic honors.
Thank you. My parents don't play that. I pretended to. I tried to be the. I'm gonna play football. I'm not doing school. I tried to. My parents were like, "Go ahead."
And please explain that part though. Elaborate on that a little bit more because that's something like kids I get nowadays. I don't even like school.
Yeah,
I don't even want to go to school, and it's like you gotta like it enough to play.
That's the biggest thing.
Some of these kids they go, I don't like school, but they the ones ineligible.
That's the biggest thing. It's
and they're probably the best athletes.
100%. So in my house, the way I grew up is like 3.0 was the bare minimum you could have, and like that was pretty much for like kind of me. Not really the rest of my siblings. They're all like 4.0 type of people.
Oh wow!
Especially the younger ones. Me and my older brother 3.0s. The babies 4.0 and up.
Yeah.
That was just was in my house. So I remember my sophomore year of high school. I had a D on a report card in math. My dad pulled me off the football team. I thought he lost his mind. I said, "You took me off the team." Like I didn't play like 3 or 4 games. He took me off the team in the middle of football season. I had a D on a report card. Not even the final grades.
That sounds familiar.
So
Yeah.
So
That sounds familiar.
I got it though once it was time to start getting recruited, and I had
Yeah.
buddies that were good, but their grades were bad.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a problem getting into anywhere.
Yeah.
That wasn't even a question. It wasn't even like, here's my transcript, and then I never had any recruiting issues.
Okay.
At all.
So did you do your, what is that list that you got like that checklist?
Clearinghouse.
Yep, we had a
Yeah.
clearinghouse.
So your dad knew all that. Your dad had you all prepared.
All prepared.
Man,
And my dad played college football. My dad played in the NFL too.
Yeah.
He had buddies that were coaching in college when I was in high school. So,
gave him the game.
who you know is important in life.
Exactly.
And my dad is well respected when it comes to football and being a DB. So
Yeah.
it was we had to make sure we was gonna put it on tape for sure.
Got you,
If he
got
if
you.
he was gonna put his name on us, we had to put it on tape.
Wow.
So when those calls got made and he showed him your film, it better be like that. He wasn't
Nice.
gonna send it to nobody if it wasn't like that.
Okay.
my dad don't
Yeah.
play.
Because it's like some kids don't realize like, oh, I could get F's and D's and as a freshman. Freshman year don't count. And sophomore year I did really bad in the beginning, but at the end I could pick it up. Like, nah, man.
I try to be as real as possible. So what I try to tell my guys is I'm gonna preach the grades all day, every day.
Gotcha.
I'm a firm believer that you gotta be a student athlete.
Yeah.
That's the system I grew up in, and I tell them all the time, if you're not gonna be a 3.5, 3.6, 3.0 guy,
Yeah.
you better be like that.
Yeah.
You better be.
Yeah.
You better be top 5 in your position.
Yeah.
Like,
In the country.
in the country, not in the state. You better be like that. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, I know guys that are like that.
Yeah.
And I play with some guys that like their film is crazy coming out of high school. And I got to college and I was like, how'd you even pass? And I'm like, I get it now. They were looking at you like, oh, he can make it to the NFL.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, that's such a 1%. Go to class. It's not hard.
They don't realize that.
Go to class.
They don't realize it's like one. Like I didn't realize it until even for them both of them to get to Division I, that's 1%. That was a
That was a percent of a percent. Like,
yeah.
that was
Nowadays with the transfer portal, it's just like you compete with people that are coming out of high school, and now you're competing with people that
From other colleges.
Yeah, the
Exactly,
transfer portal is
they
crazy.
come from
How was it for you guys
colleges.
being at Colony coming out of high school?
In terms of what?
Like as far as like recruiting goes, your guys' league, all that stuff.
For us at least, before Bechtel had left, because I heard he got a lot of players out.
Was he there with like Omar Bolin and Bobby Wagner?
No, that was a different
somebody
coach
from
before that. There was like a couple, I think like maybe one or two before Bechtel got there. I think I could be really wrong, but the one coach that got Bobby Wagner and all them out wasn't the same coach that when we got there. It was a different one. When I got there, it was Bechtel, and he got guys out. He actually had like 2-3 guys. Samaje Grant went to U of A.
Kenneth Scott.
I didn't even know he went to college.
Kenneth Scott wasn't
Utah.
Bechtel.
Utah. That's where I was high
Yeah,
school.
he was the coach
Before.
Yeah, he was the coach before. But they had a lot of guys. Even Marcus was there with Bechtel, and
For a minute.
for a minute. I think freshman sophomore year, and then he transferred to Roosevelt. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, the coach after. I mean, at least for me, he didn't help us.
Yeah.
Like he kept the letters from us.
You got one of those coaches?
Yeah, like he had a drawer full of letters that he just never gave to us. He had a bunch of kids, and it was crazy though. Like we were a championship team. Like we won CIF that year.
Somebody should be getting recruited just off of that fact.
Something.
Yeah,
I was like,
something should be coming.
And nothing. I was like, we didn't have anything. I mean, I think I was the only one to actually go to a school. Everyone else went like JUCO that wanted to continue to play in my senior year. We actually scratched that. We had one guy go to a D2, Irvin, Corey's brother.
Okay.
Nacho. He went to was it Western New Mexico? Yeah.
They were recruiting everybody.
Yeah.
They were recruiting everybody.
I feel like that's how kind of. So when we were in high school, the Big 8 was crazy. So Centennial, they had the Vontez Perfects, Taylor Martinez, Ricky
Centennial have everybody.
Yeah, they had some dogs. But Norco had the Hogs too. So
yeah.
Centennial and Norco had Hogs. Santiago had a quarterback that went to Duke. Connect went to Duke. Like the Big 8 was popping. Yeah. So
Santiago also had another one that went to Bama and just never played out.
that was after me though.
Was it Barnett or something like that?
Yeah, you had the name right.
So I think like stuff like that. But yeah, we had a coach that it just because we had a couple guys who could have went Division I. Well, actually one. We had one guy that could have went Division I, but he wasn't seeing like. I don't know what it was. It wasn't clicking. We were actually gonna interview him sometime soon.
Yeah.
But like he'll tell you like it just like He's like, I don't know what it was. Like he'll tell you.
But it's
the
also
story.
grades too.
The grades, yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
you know,
as far as like the grades go,
grades.
I was like, it just wasn't. And then I told him, I was like, you think if you would have saw those letters of intent, the letters of
change things.
You might have been like, oh snap, like, all right, let me change it up. But he's like, heck yeah, like I would have. We never saw him. I was like, we had one of those coaches. So,
what about you?
In terms of like the recruiting stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because Zach was getting everybody. Zach was bringing all the coaches there. That was my junior year when I was getting all the interceptions, but like I didn't pass the eye test, so I was standing next to all these coaches, shake their hand, and
Hey, but you
nothing would
were
happen.
really small.
I was small, but
I couldn't believe it.
he shakes someone's hand and it'd be like a baby shaking your hand.
I was little too. I feel you.
I don't know.
I used to be frustrated
Yeah.
because like you was the best corner in your league.
Yeah.
By far?
Oh yeah.
You feel me?
By a long shot.
Like I felt.
He
the
had 11
same
interceptions
way.
his senior
I felt
year.
the same way. I was like, I don't know what y'all looking at, but all right.
no, 4 in one game, 3 in another.
You had 11 that whole.
game.
You had 11. You were like
crazy.
you were third in the state.
Yeah, you went crazy. You had 11 in one season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think I had like 8. You were going nuts.
Yeah. They kept challenging him.
Either 6 or 8.
And then the CAF game, they didn't throw my way once. As soon as I got a cramp.
He got cramped.
Because I was doing.
He didn't do nothing the whole game.
I was doing everything right.
And then they start throwing it aside. He gets cramped.
I get a cramp, and then they threw the ball the next play. They threw the ball, aired it out, and I was like, all right, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, they learned from the last team because the team before they tested them.
They tested
And
me
you got
more than
2.
one time. I got 3.
You got 3 that
I
game?
got 3 in that game.
Get it right.
So they was gassing them up. They was like they got 3
How many you
good
dropped?
receivers. Huh?
How many did you drop?
1.
Yeah, see, I dropped a couple.
Oh, did you?
Whoa, you talking about in
Your
that
senior
game? You
year.
talking about-
Just like on my season when I had a bunch, I should have had somewhere around there. I dropped a few.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember dropping the one in the CAF.
I had
game.
bad hands. I used to have bad hands. I didn't start learning how to catch it.
He
until I,
just
like-
double caught everything and didn't
for
realize
sure. You're
and
one of
didn't
those
know and didn't know he needed glasses until later.
Hey man, freshman year was a blur.
He was in denial.
I knew I couldn't see because my dad would kick the punts up to me or throw the punts up to me.
Yeah.
I was like struggling to catch him. He was like, "Can you see?" I was like, "I keep losing it." He's like, "I'm gonna get your eyes checked."
So okay. So now you're in your college year. You're starting to play now. You started playing as sophomore. Your redshirt.
So my redshirt freshman year, I only really played special teams. My redshirt sophomore year, I still played a little. I didn't really play until my redshirt sophomore year. I came in the nickel package, but we moved to the Big Ten. So when I got recruited, we were Big 12.
Okay.
Then we moved to the Big Ten after my freshman year. So we went from playing Texas and 5 wides to
Yeah.
Penn State and double tight ends.
running.
Iowa. So I didn't really play like that until my redshirt junior year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when I really started. Like that's when I became a starter, like a full-time starter.
Full-time starter.
So I was a full-time starter for 2 years.
Nice. So were there somebody you had to beat out?
I was behind some dogs. So when I first got there, we had Prince Mukamara, first-round draft pick, to the Giants. I want to say he went top 15.
Okay. Yeah. I know that.
I redshirted that year though, so I want to be. And then we had this dude named Alfonso Denard.
Uh-huh.
Should have been a first-round draft pick. He got into some legal trouble literally a week before the draft.
Ooh.
We ended up going 7th round to the Patriots, but he was the best one.
Tough.
He was the best one. He even had he was balling in the NFL, but then his life just went.
Life is life, right?
He was like that. After that, can't even say we had a bunch of guys of that caliber per se.
Okay.
But we were always recruiting the next 4-star corner.
So did you know? Okay, so you went in. It's like that drinking water moment. When did you know that? Okay, I could be a starter. Because once again, you had the doubt of size. Probably, I don't know, a speed guy. Were you always fast? Or you?
I was always fast. I was always.
Did the game get faster when you got there, or?
I preferred it at that speed.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
feel like I always had good IQ.
Okay.
I like watching football. My dad was a DB, so we used to sit down. We used to talk football. I watched football. We was gonna talk football.
Oh, wow.
So formations, alignments. It's like I see when you line up at the top of the numbers. Like in high school, I already knew okay, he's +1 on top of the numbers. He's gonna run a slant,
Nice.
jumping it right. Like 3rd and whatever, he runs
Yeah,
comebacks.
yeah.
I was already there at a younger age. But when I got to college, that developed completely different. I knew DB. I wasn't sitting here thinking about the linebackers and the D line and how that all plays into the whole system. So like I had to learn that part in college.
Okay.
Like that was a different jump for me. But when I realized I could play, after I redshirted and you do a scout team and you play against the ones.
Okay.
So we're going out there doing scout team against the ones, and we had receivers that was getting drafted and stuff, and I was like, I could play. And they're big dudes, so I was like, they're not, you know, sometimes you piss them off at practice and they're going to try to block you hard. And I'm getting off blocks and, you know, sometimes I'm getting hemmed up, but I was like, I could do this.
They're not dominating you.
No, I wasn't I wasn't a little boy in a man's world.
Okay.
At no point.
When did your football, your NFL, like when did that start?
When I actually started, like my redshirt junior, when I started playing.
You did everything. You started thinking early about the future.
I wanted to play in the NFL from when I was a little kid. You know, everybody says it, but I don't know. When I first started playing football, I was good at football, and I played DN and running back. Yeah. Then the next year, I started playing corner, and like from a young age, I was like, I like football, and I'm good at playing football. And when I step on the field, I feel like I'm the best player on the field.
Okay, so you just knew.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But at a young age, though, it's coming off loud, you know.
Yeah.
I was an angry kid.
Yeah.
My parents separated. I wanted to be with my dad, live with my mom. I was going back and forth. I lived in this out in Paramount. I went to high school out here. I was angry, so like I projected a lot.
Okay.
When I think back on it when I was a kid, so I was loud about it. So I'll tell you on a Thursday or Tuesday, I'm gonna have 3 picks in the game. I'm gonna score. All the teachers was like, this kid don't shut up. And guess what I did in the game, though?
Oh, so you be in class?
Oh, yeah. And guess what I did in the game, though? I had 3 picks and I'm going to score.
Gotcha.
I wasn't just talking. It sounded like it, but, like, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Okay. So the NFL, so what was that like? So going from, did you play in a bowl game? Did you?
Yes.
The bowl game?
Sorry, no, I didn't play any senior bowl games. So, we always had scouts at practice. Like, I don't know how it was for you guys at NAU. I'm sure you guys had scouts come by. But, like, we were playing with guys. Like, my senior year, we had Amir Abdullah on the team. He was projected top. Yeah. He was the third back off the board that year. You know? Yeah. So, we always had all 32 teams were at our practice.
He was a Heisman candidate, too.
Yeah.
It was crazy. When he pulled up, he passed me. I was like, what? That dude looked familiar. And then I realized, I was like, oh snap! When you posted him, I was like, oh.
It was funny because a couple people were like, why don't you tell me who he was? And I was like, because that's just a mirror.
You want them to be at home when they come here.
Yeah, of course. We always had all 32 teams at practice and everything, so I wasn't necessarily getting a draft grade early and whatnot, but I just knew, like, if I play and I put it on film, then somebody's going to have to watch it. You know, and I've always believed in myself, so it was like, I don't care. I don't need all the teams to like me. If I can just get one, that's all that matters. So
were you drafted or?
No, I was undrafted.
Undrafted, and then you went to Colts?
I went to Indianapolis as a
undrafted Colts. How was that locker room when you first walked in?
That was the first time I felt intimidated.
Really?
That was because when you come as an undrafted guy and you're watching the guys that are drafted, and it's kind of like, you know, there's conversations going on in the locker room, and you got your makeshift locker in the locker room. You kind of just like keep to yourself. Don't speak. You know, like you're not welcome here yet. You're not recruited. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a
same thing with you.
Exactly the same way. I was in the back. It was when COVID happened, so they kind of had to separate.
It was even different for you.
So their back was like where they would have they used to have beds back there or something. They said that it was all different, but they put literally some makeshift lockers in the back. And it was like, all right, I got the one in the corner, the back of the back.
You know when you walk in the locker room, who's making the team. So you're starting to do numbers in your head. We just drafted. You know why I picked to go to Indianapolis? It's because we drafted a corner we drafted Philip Dorsett with our first pick. We played Miami that year. I watched Philip Dorsett. I'm like, I've guarded Philip Dorsett. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know? Then we don't have a second round draft pick. Our first pick in the second round, in the third round, I want to say we either drafted Will Henry, who was a D lineman out of Stanford, or we drafted Dejon Smith, a corner out of FAU.
Okay.
We played at FAU my senior year. I knew exactly who the corner was. I watched what he did out there. I said, I'm not shooting him. And they drafted him in the third round. So when you know you're getting your team.
So you were doing your work, your homework.
Yeah. I mean, I knew if I was gonna give myself a chance from a long time ago, it was gonna have to. You got to put yourself in the right situations, because if not, nobody's looking for you. I'm small, a small dude, not a big dude.
You know what I realized though is I really realized that when you guys were training that summer to get to train for the draft, not the draft for
the pro day
to go to camp.
Nah, they were just training. You guys were just training before the draft came. You remember you guys did it?
Pro day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pro day.
Was it pro day?
That's what you're talking about.
Was it pro day?
You're talking about like over when he was in Arizona?
Adoree Jackson? Nah.
Oh,
you talking about this past year?
No, the year before. The first
Yeah, I know what
year.
you're talking about. Yeah.
So what I notice is they ain't that big.
They're not.
These dudes are not that big.
They're not.
But them dudes is yo.
Some positions.
Dude, some positions.
It's like I felt the same way in the college locker room. You look at some of these dudes and you're like, you look like that under your pads.
Yeah, I was really surprised. So
You know who's like that? Golden Tate was like that.
You said who?
Golden Tate.
He looks like a regular dude that you would see at Target at noon on a Monday. Regular looking.
That dude's
dude.
nice.
You feel me?
Yeah, dude's nice.
The body types are. I don't
The
get
receivers have changed body types. They
Debo.
skinny now.
No, Debo Samuel.
They different.
Yeah, but I mean, you got those dudes who are different.
DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel, like literally built different.
Those are the outliers. I'll give you
Exactly, but
We're
like
always
the new
gonna
ones
have
that are
those.
coming in, there's like
Tank Dell out of Houston this year. He 160. What's my man with the Eagles? Heisman winner.
Devontae Smith.
160.
Oh, that dude. Yeah.
Tavon Austin changed the
But
game.
That dude was looking like that right there.
Yeah, Tavon, it was Tavon Austin. He changed it up. Tavon was the first receiver taken. He was the first small receiver taken in that draft class with
Austin?
Tavon Austin. I don't remember what year that was, but he changed.
West Virginia.
He was the first time they.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say every person that I know has seen his highlights, or at least got hyped to at least one time.
You can compare it to. You can put it up next to a Reggie Bush highlight. Tavon Austin in college. You can put it up next to.
That good?
It's cold.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude,
You know me. You know
he had what, like 300 yards in the game, something like
His
that, all
NFL career
purpose.
was compared to like what he did in college. He had the
Yeah.
Reggie Bush effect. He went to the NFL and was a very good NFL receiver, but
He's one of those guys that came in too early. He was too
Before
early.
his time.
If he came in now
his
at
time.
the spread offense, dude, what Patrick Mahomes did with Tyreek Hill, he was that.
He was that dude?
He was that.
yeah, before his time. Before his time.
Did he have now his highlight tape was just something ridiculous, but we kind of figured it's like, well, what, like, you know, why didn't
it
happen
translate?
for him? You know, like what happened?
Okay, I have a perfect example.
Same with Reggie Bush. I was like,
A perfect example, my boy Amir. Amir's like Amir's great. He's not okay. He's not good. He's great. Like, I practiced with the dude. I seen what he can do. I know what kind of football player he is. He got drafted to Detroit. They didn't have a plan of what they were going to do with a running back. You could see it.
Detroit didn't have a plan.
No, it was Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
And the last running back they had to rush for 1,000 was when Reggie Bush came.
That is right.
He just went crazy. Other than that, nobody's done anything since Barry Sanders.
It's about timing and where you go.
And they
coaches.
There was no plan for him.
Literally.
He was the best back on the board at the time, and I guess they wanted it back.
All the chips got to fall into your favor.
Arizona wanted him at the next pick, and David Johnson went there, and we saw what he did over there before. You know, their whole organization fell apart. And I'm like, put Amir over there.
That's true.
David Johnson.
Where's he at now?
Different.
Yeah.
He was with Vegas since last year.
Okay.
So he got drafted by Detroit. He went to
He was in Minnesota.
after Detroit. Then he went to Carolina. Then he went to Vegas.
5 years?
8 years.
He's doing 8 years. Oh, he retired. He good.
So Todd Gurley was the first draft. Todd Gurley was the first one in that draft.
Yeah.
Then it was Melvin Gordon.
Oh,
Amir.
wow.
And outside of Todd Gurley going crazy and then Melvin having his opportunity, Amir's been the most, like, at least consistently.
Yeah,
You know, Todd's
yeah.
done and Melvin.
That sucked what happened to Todd Gurley. I mean, he just couldn't.
Injuries happen. Yeah.
At least he got his money, like, you know.
Hey, Melvin Gordon got a chip. He's like, I ain't have to do nothing for it.
I hate saying it like that, but I mean, I get it. It's like when I got injured in Indy, I'm the first thing I thought when I got injured was like, that's it. Like,
So what was the injury?
I tore my quad tendon off my patella in my knee. Yeah, I folded.
You talking about serious?
I hit the ground and I just folded.
Like doing what, planting or
The same thing I've done a million times in my life. But when you start training for pro day, like I was little, so they wanted me to put on weight.
Yeah.
So I went from being like, that season probably ended, I was probably 150 something. I weighed in that pro day at 172.
Oh, you put on some weight.
I put on like 20 something pounds. Upper body. You don't really, you know how when you're training for pro day, you're trying to run a fast 40 and you're trying to look good. You're not,
Yeah.
You're not doing anything functional like that.
Yeah.
You're not hitting the field and cutting and driving on routes. You're not doing
Top
none of that.
heavy.
Top heavy.
And I said, hey, get on the bench. How many plays can you lift? That's it.
I broke on the post curl route, and when Quan Bray broke when he hit the post, I put my foot in the ground and break. I knew he was about to sit it down because I saw through to the quarterback, and I saw the quarterback about to throw the ball. So I'm about to pick. Put my foot in the ground. Next thing I know, I was on the turf. I was in the grass, face down, and then I never had a major injury. I've only heard the stories about people getting injured and how they feel this fire in their knee and stuff, and I felt that heat.
Yeah.
So then immediately I'm just like, I tore my ACL. That's all I really know is people tear their ACL.
Yeah.
So then the doctor comes out and he starts doing the test, and they start whispering, and he like moves my knee, and he's like, it's not an ACL. So I'm like, all right, I sprained my knee. I'm still alive. You know? I'm telling you, as soon as I felt it,
I still got a chance. As soon as
I hit the ground, I said, oh, my NFL career over. Like that's all my chances are over.
Yeah.
So then he starts messing with my knee more, and he goes, pick your leg up. And I'm just looking at my leg, and it's not moving. And he goes, hey, it's the quad. And I didn't know anything about any of that. So like I'm in the training room, and I'm calling my parents, I'm calling my wife. I'm tears. I'm just got snot coming out. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. Man. A couple of vets come in there and like, you gonna get paid, bro. You gonna be all right. I'm just like telling you that right now. I get it now. At the time, I didn't.
They say the same thing to you.
Yes. Hey, you tough, right?
Hey, you gonna get that check? Because they looking at me like, you wasn't gonna make the team, my boy. You know, hindsight 50-50.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, you're not gonna. You can't let that creep into your mind when you're active.
You can't.
If it creeps into your mind when you're active, you're never gonna make it.
Yeah.
You know, but when you peel it back on the outside, and there's camp bodies out there. You don't know if sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Nothing
you
you can
know
do.
somebody.
Just go ahead and get paid while you're there.
Happen. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Hey, you went through it.
What?
Twice. Twice.
What, you talking about the surgery?
Did they go, hey, you ain't gonna make it, bro?
Nah.
They ain't doing that.
So it was COVID, and at the time, it was like we had to ramp it up because. So it was COVID, and at the time, like there was like things set in place to where we couldn't do certain things. Mm-hmm. But we were doing them still. So like we were supposed to have walkthroughs, but these walkthroughs weren't walkthroughs. It was like we had a product song, you know what I'm saying?
There's a reason why Baltimore is as good as they are, though.
But it was like
I'm just saying.
It was But it was only during that time. So just because we got there early. And what was it called? What were we doing? We were doing half line because technically we couldn't do one-on-ones, so it was doing half line. And a straight man. So I mean, he ran. What he ran? 10-yard out. Mm-hmm. Boom. Broke on that out. I said, oh, snaps. And I turned back around. The ball was coming. So I threw my arm up. Shoulder came out. I said, dang. And we just got there. So 2 weeks go by. I rehab it. And he was like, you should be good. And I'll tell you what, I did not feel good. But I was cool. I was like, I had that. I played with it. I was fine. So I got released. But they signed me back to the practice squad. Got in around I think it was the third game in. Got activated Monday Night Football during the Chiefs. My mom was out there. I didn't know that she just came out there because I was like, Mom, you want to come out here? Blah blah blah. But I didn't know I was gonna get activated until like a couple of days before they told me, and I was like, all right, cool. So I mean, I did that. Let me see. I went all the way till the 7th game. We were playing the Colts. Ran down on I was gunner, ran down, try to go for a tackle, but like I missed for sure. But like it clipped like the outer part of my hand, shoulder came back out. So they took me back inside.
They still wanted TV time. That's all you want.
You say what?
You wanted TV time.
I'll take as much as I can get. Find that picture on Google.
See, kids, I did play.
That opened doors for you, my boy.
Man. So they took me inside. They put like this harness thing on my pad, so like they drilled holes in it, and they put this harness thing on. So I was like, oh, I'm cool. They gave me that. They gave me some drugs. And I was like, oh, I feel fantastic. Went back in the game. I was flying down. I don't know how I was flying down.
At least 22 miles.
He got that Patrick Mahomes.
At least 22 miles an hour.
Yeah.
At least
oh my
22.
gosh.
Yeah, you were gone.
At least. And I was gone. Got down there, made the tackle, wrapped him up, and I was cool, right? But like, you know how like you wrap him up and then you kind of swing to the backside because your momentum takes you, but his feet stopped. So then you got the big linebackers coming in and they blew him up over my shoulder and it got stuck up there. Mm-hmm. And I was down again. So then I got injured. And then they was like, all right, I talked to some coaches, like, you know, like, hey, my bad. I didn't mean to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you feel, you know how you get. And he was just saying, he said, how many games is this for you? I was like, this is 5. He's like, more than 3? Shut it down. You good. I was like, okay. He was like, you already put it on tape. You're fine, blah, blah, blah. They'll probably sign you back for next year. But, like, you know how it goes. You're undrafted still. So go back next year. You got to go through all the range of motion and everything. We're not really practicing with the fellas for real. It's like you excluded for a little while, and then you get back into it. And then I went through the whole camp. I was cool. It was week 1. This was preseason, week 1. That Monday, same exact route, 10-yard out. I was playing man, one-on-ones, slot. Same exact route. Came out, he ran it out, and I was on him, right? He caught the ball while my arm was extended, and I tried to rip it back, but as I was ripping, I like slipped on his cleat, and I fell, and it popped out. It fell off contact, like it popped out.
Other shoulder.
And it was the other shoulder. And so once that happened, I was like, yeah.
Series of unfortunate events.
What? So Colin.
But you don't understand that year, though. It was Marlon Humphrey went down. Marcus Peters went down. Anthony, or was it Avery? Was the only dude that was really a name that was really like the consistent dude that was in there starting.
Then he went down.
And he went down. I was like, dude, Dad, the clip would have been starting this year. It would have been starting.
So the thing is that year, remember I was
I
was running with the 2s at the time, and it was cool. Like, I was running with the 2s at the time. It was cool. Tavon was really showing me the way. He was coming back off of a knee injury. And I was like, well, they was repping me with the 1s just because they were trying to give him a break. And, like, they were trying to see how I do after these preseason games and, like, just go from there. And, like, you know, I appreciate them for everything. I'm not going to hate on, you know, they gave me a chance. They gave me opportunity. Same with the Giants. Like, I ain't going to hate on nobody. They saw both of my shoulders come out, and they're like, oh, this
injury prone.
Exactly. So that happened. But that's what I was doing because I was like kind of like the
Once again, he does not do that anymore.
No, not at all.
You got to learn for yourself, though.
It's like
Life is all about, like, you know.
Well, he gonna be in Detroit. They might see this, and then
So I don't
Run up on my boy, huh? Yeah. That's that dude I seen on the podcast talking about he be having cash.
Cash on him all the time.
Oh, we got him.
He's coming through the pain.
Light skin too.
You say what?
Light skin.
Oh, that's crazy. Why you throw that in? You light skin too.
Hey, Detroit kind of rough.
I don't got $2,000 in my pocket. I just carry.
Detroit carry it.
Yeah, you don't carry it.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no. So okay, my bad.
No, keep going.
I was gonna say I lost that fire for a little while. Like I really didn't know what I was gonna do. Like I was, we hopped on this brand pretty heavy. Try to get some stuff going.
So how did you two meet? Because now I was going to talk. What I was
story.
What I was going to bring up is the after football, like what you're starting, your entrepreneurship, or did you always have a business?
So Gut Check is actually my father started this back in the 80s, and it was a clothing line, right?
Okay.
And then just growing up, it was always something. It was like our family mantra, like the never in doubt is part of the definition. So I always grew up on that. And then in college, I actually started printing shirts and giving them to my teammates and stuff. And then compliance shut me down.
Oh, they did?
They shut me down. I mean, it wasn't the NIL era. Like, you know, I was giving my teammates shirts and then trying to sell the shirts online too, and fans are buying them. They're like, you can't do that.
Ooh.
They're like, your teammates either your teammates
Wait a
either have to
minute,
pay you for those shirts.
Your teammates trying to sell your shirts?
No, I was giving them shirts for free, but you remember how it was? You couldn't take anything from anybody.
Yeah,
I couldn't
selling them too.
I was selling the shirts, so I couldn't give anybody. You couldn't gift anyone anything.
How did they know that?
Because it's the compliance, and
That's what they do.
No, what I'm saying is like, how would they know if you just go, hey, I'm just, you know, like I don't know.
I literally, because all my teammates are walking around, you know, the facility with Gut Check shirts on, and everybody was like, that's hard, you know, and the definition on the back, everybody was rocking with it. And then I put a link on my Twitter about like people being able to purchase them, and then compliance called me in a couple of days later, threatening to like suspend me and everything.
Oh wow!
I was gonna miss games. I was like,
when you take money from a university, they don't play.
What's crazy is like if you think about like how they had it is that we was only one sided. So like, you know, none of us wanted really to go to school. Like a lot of people didn't want to go to school. So it's like when we try to start something else, nipped it in the bud, and it's like the only thing we could do is play football or be an athlete, and that's
your brand's never bigger than it is in college. Unless you go into the NFL and become like an all pro type of player.
Because your name, like you can't.
It's a different type of investment with college fans than it is pro. You know, and the colleges like that's all they really got. So people really buy into the community, and they're like you're a Husker for life. You know, like it's not like that in the NFL. There's no like you're You got to be a Hall of Famer. You got to go in the Ring of Honor. Other than that, you're just a number. You keep going by. Yeah. So if you can establish a brand,
you got to capitalize on it.
Come on, why not? Like if I could have done what I was doing now when I was in Nebraska, I probably would have been opening a facility out there.
I think the cool thing was that Tommy was still there at the time, and we were making those was our very first hoodies. And the people were buying them. Like we weren't selling them too high. We cut the bottoms of them, so it was kind of unique. And then we had the whole print front and back, blah blah blah. And
we were trying.
You got to start somewhere.
That was a crazy time during COVID.
Oh, did it? So you built this separate? Mm-hmm. Okay, got it.
During COVID.
Nice.
Everything was shut down, and I was like, okay. I never really wanted to be the weight room guy. Okay. I love being on the field.
Yeah.
And COVID happened and everything started getting shut down, and like the athletes were just really chilling.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all tripping. I had all the parents up, and I said, they're with me. In the mornings, drop them off at my house. We're going to go to we were working. Y'all don't get to just sit around and do nothing.
Okay.
Like the company I was working for at the time, they were contemplating laying people off. I worked with this company called BSN Sports, and we sold sporting goods and equipment.
Okay.
So with that, when all the schools shut down, we basically had nothing to do. And they started laying people off, and I'm like, I know better than that. I'm not about to sit around and wait to see if I get laid off.
Yeah.
I'm about to start figuring out something, and I was already working with the athletes in a certain capacity, so I was like, I'm start working with them more.
Okay.
So then that's kind of how this all got birthed. We were working out in the garage, I started ordering equipment, and I was like, we're gonna need something bigger than this. And then I was just looking in the backyard one day, and I was like, I could build something in my backyard.
Nice.
So that's just
nice.
Entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah. So how did you, starting off with the gut check, because I know I seen you on the field. So how did you start that? So when you say you're working with athletes already, so is it through that company?
So the way I was working with athletes is after I got cut from the NFL and I went to the CFL, we only play for 6 months. You're 6 months on, 6 months off.
Okay.
So I would come back home and I was like, me and my buddy Austin would work out.
Canadian Football League? What team?
Toronto Argonauts.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. 2017 Grey Cup champs. So
put that in there.
Yeah, I didn't put the ring
put some
on.
respect
I
in
didn't
there.
put the ring on for the podcast, but I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys the merch after. So when I would come home in the off season, I was working out, and we were working out at the high school. And it's summertime, so the high school kids are out there, and I just remember just going up to them and letting them know, like, hey, we'll be working out. Like, since we're already out here, if you guys want to work out, you guys can work out with us. Not even so much we were going to train them, it's just like, y'all can work out with us. We out here anyway. Yeah. And I just remember the kids looking at me and my boy Austin, like, man, y'all washed. I just remember looking in their eyes and just feeling it back. Like, you guys didn't make it,
Yeah.
So, you got those couple kids in the back that they really trying to make the team, and they're nothing. Like, I started with, like, little short Mexican kids. And they wanted to work.
Isn't that amazing how kids, and we were probably that way too when I was younger too. It's like you look at somebody, now I know, even if they're on the practice squad.
Different.
Yeah, even if they're on the practice squad, they still made it.
1%.
Even if they got a chance to go in there and they got cut, it's like,
I don't care if you got a tryout.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that call.
Like people look down on people at all. Yeah.
People don't get, a lot of people don't, but that's just the way it's framed though. Like one of my college coaches said it, I don't remember what year it was, but he was like, you guys are going to put all this work in and everyone's going to judge you guys on Saturday. It was a strength coach. He was like, we're in the weight room. And, you spend most of your time with your strength coaches. Yeah. More than your actual football coaches in college. And he's like, everyone's going to judge you guys by Saturday, but they're not going to see any of this work you put in. Yeah. And I just I just stick with that. I'm like, that's exactly what people are going to do. They're going to judge you by what they see on TV, ESPN and everything. So when they see these dudes getting drafted, they look at everybody like when they make, like, I have family members calling me, ask for money when I was like, first got some money, and I was like, I don't got money like that for you to be asking me for no money. I didn't think those stories and stuff would be true, but I was like, people really acting different. Yeah. I was undrafted.
Yeah, that too.
They don't know anything.
I just told them, hey, my mom's got it. You got to hit her up.
Yeah, like,
you had that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't know.
It don't matter if it's once, twice, or that. It's just crazy when it happens to you. You're just like, did that just happen? Yeah. Like, do I have to tell somebody no? You just think like that's not gonna happen to me. Yeah. It's real. You will really be surprised. People don't know they don't know any better.
No.
They just assume.
And they don't realize too, like, let's say, and you guys don't start off $1 million getting, but $1 million not a lot.
No.
Not when Uncle Sam come in and then you got all this overhead, whatever your car, house, what have you. It's not a lot.
It's because it's not guaranteed. right? Where everybody like, if I get a job, I know I'm gonna make this money unless they let me go.
Could NFL be guaranteed?
It can be guaranteed. And that's why Lamar gonna get his bread.
No. I get you on that level. I get you on that level. But can it be guaranteed on the whole scale like the NBA?
Be. The thing why it won't be is because you got the CBA, and the CBA won't work like that because you have guys in the league that can't afford to lock out. Can't afford to not play. That might be their last opportunity.
But can the NFL afford to guarantee everybody money?
100%. They just got to cut the money a little bit. They just got to mess with
how they drop the money a lot.
But do players got to go? Okay, I'm gonna take less if you guarantee for the whole. Everybody get guaranteed money.
Would you?
What if I would take less to help everybody?
No. Let's say if you're a high quarterback, right? Because they get what 200 something million now.
Mm-hmm.
Now
230.
Yeah, but let's say if they take 130 and then everybody goes down in salary. Now everybody gets to get guaranteed money because you got 53. How many people on the roster?
Well, you got 53 and then like 16 on practice squad now.
So how much is that all together? You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to figure out how would that work. And then now you guys got, and this is what I was just listening to a podcast. Now you guys got trainers. You guys got massage and some not every.
And the
masseuse, you got people to come in, just whatever. Now they got full staff doing that too. So how do you guarantee money for all these players?
What do you mean? Like, so think about so like when we talk about money, right? So you see, I'm bringing in Jeff Bezos because he's got like $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
And they said that he could probably give $1,000 to legit every person in America.
That's
and still be okay. But I'm saying because it's $1 million, can be spread out through all of us on practice squad, like evenly, and be okay. But it's like they would have to take a price cut.
Can you guarantee the practice squad salary?
They also don't do that. Like make it even and guarantee it because every player is different. They bring a different thing to the table.
Yeah.
But
the roster is huge.
But they also
huge.
like
I'm just trying to figure out how do you do it with a huge roster.
They're now doing it like it's a market.
Yeah.
Like you see it now. So, the market for a good QB, apparently a Deshaun Watson, the market for it is a lot different. Like, my stock just went up after I just had a 5,000-yard throwing season.
Because don't get me wrong, I like it nowadays because you saw your cornerback. Cornerbacks are starting to get guaranteed. Because they guarantee that. So you got 76?
Something Marlon?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
76. I think somebody else got a high number too. So it's getting there, but I'm just trying to figure out how do you do it all around.
You can't. Because, you think about somebody like Patrick Mahomes, like, in being real, his stock just went up. And
they said he's got to re-up. They're going to re-up probably next year.
So we looked at that contract and I was like, oh man, 10 years, almost half a billion. When in reality, that's not as much as we think it is.
Yeah, because he's probably making his team a lot more money.
Yeah, for sure. Because you got to pay Kelsey, you got to pay. You had to pay Tyreek, but that's different. So
So going back, let's get out of this part of it. Let's go back to you and then getting your clients.
Right?
How you met? Yeah. Exactly.
So we met. You met my buddy Harold.
Yeah. So QB that was throwing to Zach. I came up because I was like, I haven't got a throw from a QB in a while. I was like, I'm gonna pull up. I trained with Zach, and he would do everything forward. I'll do everything backwards, but the ball would be released at the same time. And it was cool. I met him, and then after he saw, I think I was wearing a hat or I was wearing a hoodie or something like that. Oh, that's pretty dope. And then I told him about my clothing brand and this and that, and I was just asking like, what did he do before? Because I was like, sometimes this will be hurt and blah blah blah. But he was like, he worked at the
Kinematics.
Yeah. He worked at Kinematics, which is like a physical therapy place. Yep. And then I was like, dang. And I started talking about how, what's it called? I hit up a coach and they didn't hit me back. So, I was like, I've just been doing it myself type thing. And he was like, oh, well, you should hit up Josh. And I was like, all right.
It's funny because he texted me and he was like, yo, bro, there's this dude up here. His name's Khalil and he's working out. I think he was like, he's with the Ravens. Or I think he said you were free agent. One of the two.
Free agents from the Ravens.
He was like free agent from the Ravens. He was like, but he nice. You need to work with him. So I was like, give him my information or give me his number.
Yeah.
So I hit him up and then.
Oh, cool, man. Cool. So, are you coaching at Roosevelt?
I do. I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay.
He knows the story.
So do you teach there too, or do
No,
you
I
just
don't.
walk on?
I'm a walk-on coach.
Okay, got you. Football?
Football, varsity
Okay.
football, varsity DBs.
Okay.
So, like I said, I was the first 4-year graduating class at Roosevelt, and I like to say it all the time. Like I feel like I set the standard for what it is to be a DB coming out of
Nice.
Roosevelt. So I wanted
Nice.
to come back and coach and
Yeah.
reestablish what that standard is and what it means. And
Yeah.
we didn't have culture, we didn't have tradition. I went to a college with a lot of it, so I'm trying to build
Build it.
something at my old school. And it gets tough when you're on the forefront of it.
Yeah.
'Cause not everyone takes you serious all the time, but
Yeah.
it's important. And we'll look back on it 20 years from now, and I want my name to be etched in there, and they're like, yeah, he helped start what this is.
So when you coach your kids, so what is your philosophy? You said is education, and then from there, when it comes, because you DBs, right?
Correct.
So what is your, how would I say, philosophy? What was your philosophy? Like, what do you, like, it's something they're going to hear from you every day.
For me, it's just
Yeah.
all about the work.
Okay.
It's not to me. It's not that complicated because we don't come from these crazy physical intangibles.
Yeah.
Right? We don't come from the height, the speed, the weight. We don't come from all that. So
Yeah.
I know the type of work you got to put in.
Yeah.
And how you got to really focus and how you got to really understand the game. So my biggest thing is just teaching people a certain work ethic. And
Okay.
How we're going to do it. Not everyone's going to grasp it. Not everyone's going to become this phenomenal player, but regardless, however we're going to do it, we're going to do it a certain way.
Nice.
Like your footwork's going to be a certain way, your stance a certain
Nice.
way. If you play for me, your mind's going to be a certain way.
Yeah,
If you don't
yeah.
play like that, you're not going to play for me.
Gotcha.
It's plain and simple.
Gotcha. Are you varsity coach?
Varsity coach.
Okay. Do you have any players out right now that are pretty nice?
We're going to have to rebuild our secondary this year. I got some young guys, but last
Okay.
year we put out a DB, went to Idaho.
Okay.
Every year I've been there, we put out somebody D1, San Diego
Okay.
State, Idaho.
Nice.
We're getting guys out. We've always, honestly, at Roosevelt, we've always kind of gotten DBs out
Okay.
in a certain extent. I would say that's probably like our best position as a high school that we've had.
Nice.
But now it's just
Now,
more
are
so-
you making contact with colleges or?
Yeah, so we have these showcases. So then that's why I met some of the colleges, and they'll give me their numbers and whatnot
Okay.
with recruiting. Our old head coach, he did a good job with the recruiting side of it, so I didn't have to do too much.
Okay.
And the coach didn't have to lean on me so much. I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on tape guy. Like my biggest saying is the eye in the sky never gonna lie.
Yeah. So nowadays, because you say put it on tape, it's really not tape. So where do they put it on?
Huddle.
Huddle. Everything's huddle.
Everything's
still
on
huddle.
You can get.
I thought it was something
This
else.
the difference
that's
between.
college.
Oh, college is something else.
Because
When we were
Like
using huddle,
Thundercloud?
we were using huddle in college, and then I don't know what they're using now. Probably upgraded.
Thundercloud, because I think Thundercloud, you can't like screen record, you can't like make your own highlights like right away, because now like everything is they're sending film to other schools or something like that.
Okay.
So you kind of I believe that's why, because you can't screen record, you have your own password for your own team.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
but
how our huddle was back the way it was set up. But like
Nice,
huddle's
yeah.
changed so much.
Yeah.
But we had huddle in college, but we didn't have huddle in high school. We were sending
Gotcha.
we were putting our tape on YouTube and sending it out individually.
So if I'm a kid, I'm pretty nice, right? What would you recommend I do and the parents do? Because I always tell parents, if you really believe in your kid, you gotta start doing some work too. Mm-hmm. You gotta start, whatever it is, you gotta start doing it. You can't just go, oh no, they're gonna get recruited, because it doesn't happen.
No, the biggest thing I would tell parents now is hit at least 1 or 2 college camps that you really want to go to. Not even so much the showcases, but like depending on what kind of caliber guy you are, go to a local camp. See if you can go to UCLA camp. That's a good one, and it's down the street.
Yeah.
And then like if you have an out of state school,
It ain't
you
down
wanna
the
go
street.
He drive to LA every day.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying for a
But it's
Cali
local, yeah,
for a
it's
Cali kid in a big school, that's down the street.
That's my dad for you.
But then I would definitely say hit a showcase.
Okay.
And then like I'm not a big camp dude. Like don't hit a bunch of them. Hit 2 of them.
Okay.
If you're not doing it in that, you're not gonna get it by your 6th camp.
Gotcha.
You got to do it early. And then the biggest
Yeah.
thing after you go to the camps and people know who you are, they're gonna watch your tape. College coaches are gonna watch your tape.
Gotcha.
That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So you can go to unless you're 6'2", 200, you run fast. The camp might do something for you.
Yeah.
At least that way you can go out there and showcase your talent. But when you play on Friday, it's high school football. Your stats got to be 11 picks.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that, then at least now, especially like compared to when we were in high school, you can get somewhere. Like you can get D3. These kids are going D3s, D2s.
Yeah.
They weren't recruiting us. We weren't getting any of that. It was D1 or bust when I was in high school.
I wish more kids would look at the D2s. I don't know about the D3s because it's academic. You got to pay for that. Mm-hmm. Your academics better be on before you get one of those scholarships. But
that's the biggest thing.
And AIA too.
It just depends on the kid and what the kids are going to do anyway if they want to continue their
playing career. That's true.
If you're going to go JUCO, I'd tell them you might as well just go D3.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
Get some tape, do it for a season or two.
Yeah.
And if it's not for you, then, pick a school out here, wherever you want to go and go continue your education. But I'm like, don't go JUCO right now.
JUCOs have been getting flooded lately too.
Have they?
Because
the portal.
Everybody thinks that you get into the transfer portal, you're gonna get it picked up immediately because you have film.
Body's sitting in there.
Dude, there's what's called one of the kids that works out with us. He just went on a Mount Sac visit, right? And I told him, oh yeah, I know the coaches. Like, just tell him this. Like, is it the same coach there? Asking him certain questions. And he goes, man, I'm not going there. I was like, what's up? He said, there's 37 receivers. He's like, there's like everybody wants to go there.
And they're all probably decent.
They're yeah.
Mount Sac
I was like, and they're recruiting heavily.
It's definitely not bad players.
And I was like,
no.
I was like, wait, what? Like, that doesn't even sound right, like just looking back at it. But, then I got hit up by another kid saying, oh, I'm going to Mount Sac. I currently want to get some more, like certain things like that. And it's just like, that's a lot of kids in one position or in two positions, and that's spread. That's only
may make you
that's only receiver.
DB.
Yeah, I was like, you might want a career change though. Yeah. So he was like, oh no, I'm going to
mess up your dreams.
So he's like, well, I'm gonna go here.
Not for you.
I'm gonna go here. There might be some less kids going, but JUCOs are getting flooded because the transfer portals they're. It is what it is. Like I think Deion Sanders was saying that. Like Deion Sanders,
I think he really explained it pretty well. Man.
He said, "Hey, I feel bad for these high school kids because he's like, you take a chance." I was like, or you get a guy that's already proven.
I mean, the way I look at it is you can feel it's pros and cons to everything, right? Yeah. To me, the biggest thing right now, like I said, is these kids have an opportunity to get recruited by schools that would have never recruited them before. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you got to take advantage of that. Take advantage. And like, put it on tape. If the tape is decent, somebody will like you. It might not be the school of your dreams, but then you might end up going to this D2 over there. And then if you like that, like you say you are, go crazy. You can get in the portal. Now you can get at a SC or UCLA, but maybe in high school you hadn't developed like that yet.
Or just stay there.
Or just stay there.
Work it out.
Just stay there.
Yeah, work it out. And then, pro day. If you really nice, pro day,
Mac Jones did that. I was like, I think that's not one of the only dudes I really know. But Mac Jones, he stuck it out. Tua, Jalen Hurts was in front of him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think
how I feel about the portal is it's either you've exhausted all your opportunities and now you need to change, or you're running from adversity.
Yes,
that's the only two ways I see it. I don't think there's a middle ground. Yeah. Like, you got to work. I had we talked about having different coaches every year. Like, I had a different coach every year. I had a new DB coach. So like, they didn't recruit me.
Something like, they said eye in the sky never lies.
Eye in the sky never lies.
This man,
you can't edit that.
Lying.
You can't edit that tape. You can't edit that tape. That's like that practice tape. You can't do nothing to that.
So now getting into your coaching. With the gut check, like what's next with gut check? What's next? What's your new venture you have coming?
So the new venture we have coming is called GSE Athletics, Grind, Shine, Eat Athletics. It's going to be a training facility, 8,000 square foot training facility.
They say the name slow.
GSE Athletics.
GS, what give me?
Grind, Shine, Eat.
Grind, shine. Y'all gonna have food?
Hey, if you do what you're supposed to do, we're gonna have some food.
Hey, you said eat.
Hey, you gotta eat. But my business partner in that is Marcus Williams.
Okay.
So it's funny because when I didn't meet Marcus until he was coming out from Utah.
Okay.
I went to school with his older brother, but Marcus was young when I was in high school. So, I seen him in passing, but I didn't know him like that.
Yeah.
But when I came back here and I was rehabbing and whatnot, we kind of got connected. And then about a year or two later, I started training with him. But I just was asking him what he wanted to do with life after football. And he didn't really know like that either, but we kind of bonded over, being DBs and training. And he's got a mindset like I got a mindset like he's got. So we started talking about, doing our own thing. Because out here you got Winter Circle Boost, some of those programs. We're like, we could do our own thing. So that's kind of how this got birthed. Right now we're in the construction part, doing the build out and everything, and just.
Where's the location?
Off the 91 on Auto Center Drive in Corona.
Okay.
Yep, it's almost like in that Centennial-ish territory.
Okay. Yeah.
Right over
Oh,
there.
you trying to hit Centennial?
I mean,
got
hey,
you.
that's
I
where
got
the
you.
property's at. So
I got you.
we went to Roosevelt.
Yeah.
So for us, like we're trying to create our own feeder program
Gotcha.
to our school.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their feeder program. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're both Eastville boys, so trying to build up our community and
Nice.
give back to our community and do what we can.
Nice.
Do the athletic side of it as well and promote academics. And everyone keeps on saying, "Are you guys opening an academy?" And it's like we're on the same mindset of being like, if we're going to open a school, we're going to open a school the right way.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going to just open an academy, throw some
Yeah.
kids on the laptop and tell them to hold back.
Yeah.
That's not the way we think. Not knocking how anybody else does.
I know there's a couple, right? What's
Yeah, you got Winter Circle.
Oh,
That
that's the
one they
biggest.
doing.
That's the biggest one out here.
EM does that as well.
EM, Stars,
Damien's in that one.
Boost.
and then
Yeah,
Academy?
Stars in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ian.
Okay,
remember
Ian Academy. Yeah.
He goes to class and then trains
Yeah.
baseball.
That's
Yeah.
that's big right now.
Yeah.
That's big right now. So I mean, I get some homeschool kids right now. So what they do is they do their homeschool stuff and then do a learning
come in.
fund. They work with me as well.
Nice.
So I
So-
get that aspect of it.
So do you get other athletes from other sports?
Yeah, sometimes. So I'll get like soccer players. I'll do speed and agility with. Right now, with opening the facility, we'll be transitioning into bringing actual people that train those sports into working with those
Okay.
athletes. Because originally, when I started training, I was working with the DBs.
Okay.
How I started working with other sports and other athletes is because people were training with other people around the area and it just
Yeah.
wasn't working for them.
Yeah.
Or they just weren't liking it or the lack of attention or whatever it was. So,
Yeah.
you know, I got a kind heart and I started saying yes to people. So then that kind of birthed into a couple other different things.
It kind of expands your field too.
100%. I mean, I'm one of those people that like you can only control what you can control.
Yeah.
And I'm very comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Got you.
That's one of the biggest things they used to preach to us in college. Like our
Yeah.
strength coach was always on that. So
Yeah.
like he built that into my mind for sure.
Oh, okay.
So like I'll do things that are
And
uncomfortable.
Nebraska's deep in you, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like my best friend's like Nebraska.
Okay.
We talk about it all the time. All the time. Like they built us into some men over there. Like our program was really about
Wow.
I
You made a
respect it.
great choice then.
I respect it. 100%.
Character building.
Oh yeah, I got friends that went to other schools and we talk and whatnot. I'm just like, that's not the same. It's not the same. You went to school out there and y'all play some ball, but it's not. It is
not the same.
Nebraska's it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I went through some of my darkest days out there.
Yeah. So how your first kid being a dad now? How did that change you?
Oh, it was everything I could imagine.
Wait. So the thinking, how did it change your thinking once you got a?
The thinking more so like they're sponges.
Yeah.
So like kids they watch everything you do.
Yeah.
So I just try to make sure I set my kids up in like an environment that I think that they can thrive in. Like
Okay.
as far as like parenting, I know I'm a good parent. I know what I offer. I know what my wife offers. And then like what we surround them with, who we surround them with, like what they see, what they do.
Yeah.
Like my son came in here right now, he started getting to it.
Yeah.
You gonna see him go pick up his little weights and he gonna start getting to it in here.
Gotcha.
Turn on some little baby, he gonna start
Yeah,
dancing.
yeah,
Take him
yeah.
to the field, he gonna get on the ladder. They seen him on the
Yeah,
ladder at the field
yeah.
and he wasn't even focused then. He ain't been in the field very frequently.
Yeah.
So for me,
Boys trying to dip.
he was up in the bleachers. He was all over the place. I don't know. Me and my dad are really close. Like
Okay.
we're really, really close. So having a son first and everything, like I in a sense, and try to kind of recreate what I have with my father
Yeah.
and my children
Yeah.
and whatnot, and try to create like a foundation.
Yeah. Because you had a great foundation.
Yeah, and be who you say you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And all that. And if you gonna preach it, you gotta walk it as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, it's funny. I always made jokes for years about it, about having dogs and like working with my dogs, being instructors with my dogs and whatnot. And then
Yeah.
I was like, it can't be no different than having a kid.
Yeah.
You know, you put them in the kennel, you put them in the crib, like all those little things like that. So it's funny. My neighbor, when we told her that my wife was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Y'all need tips?" And she said it. She goes, "I seen how you are with your dogs. You guys will be all right." And it hasn't been difficult in any capacity. Like I have the patience. Like of course
That's
things are
it.
hard here and there and
Yeah.
whatnot, but like nothing's phased
Yeah.
me. I hear people talk about parenting a lot and it's like horror stories.
Yeah.
I don't have those.
Nah.
I really
No,
don't.
I think when you have that foundation, because you sound like you had a great foundation. So when you have that foundation, it's really not going to be any issue. My biggest thing was the change of the mindset, because when you're single and you have a different mindset about life, things phase you different. But then that kid came around. you start crying in movies.
I did become really emotional.
Yeah.
I did.
Like I would see, especially if it's a kid or the kid and their dad or a kid and their parent, just something. Then all of a sudden, like, why am I crying?
Yeah.
So
I did get more emotional for sure. For sure.
Hey, man, we love you too, man.
Yeah, love you too.
Both my kids were born here.
Okay.
My wife gave home births right in
Home births?
Yeah, right in the
y'all
room.
ain't playing.
It's called the Room of Champions. I'll take you guys in there
Y'all
after this. I
ain't
got
playing.
the jerseys up on the wall and everything. Like
Okay.
they were born into greatness. They're gonna be great.
Nice.
It's in them already. It's already written. They gotta just stick to the script. We gotta do our part, and then they gotta do their part when they start developing their own identity.
Yeah. And it's always a blessing, man. Especially it's a blessing when you can show them your passion. You show them the nest there on the field. Keep it up, man.
Thank you.
Keep it up, man. And I appreciate you. I appreciate this time you've given us. Thank you, man.
Of course.
And God bless you.
I appreciate y'all putting me on this platform. This is nice.
Yeah.
Good talking.
I got my headphones on. I'm like, okay, do I sound good? Is the mic too far? I like it.
Hey, sound good, man. Well, this is Drinking Water Podcast. We out.